Hello and welcome to another unboxing video. This week we're going to take a look at a 2013 release from Meng, the Leopard 1A3A4. Nice colourful box. Let's have a look and see what we get in the box. A conventional lift top box with a set of instructions, a painting guide, a pair of rubber band tracks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 bags of sprues, a bag containing clear components, an upper and lower hull, upper turret, piece of string, piece of photo etch, and a bag containing track links. Let's take the plastic out of the bags and take a closer look at it. Okay, we'll start off with Sprue A, of which there are 4 in the bag, consisting of road wheels front and rear, swing arms, bump stops, return roller mount, and shock absorber covers, and one of the toe eyes for the towing cable. Nicely moulded. No knockout marks present. Very healthy. Sprue B, of which there are 2 in the bag. This contains the idlers, the dry sprockets, some spare track links, lifting lugs, tow hooks, suspension units, headlights, the small boxes that go on the rear hull, and what look like spare track components to be placed on the hull. You have a choice of different types of drive sprockets here, depending on what version you're building. A few knockout marks on this one, but nice and cleanly moulded. We jump here to Sprue D. Sprue D consists of the side skirts, the rear plate, mud guards, rear fittings for the hull, and a choice of engine grills. Again, neatly moulded on the front faces. On the back faces, lots of knockout marks to be removed. Sprue E. Sprue E consists of the ventilation grills on the rear of the hull, wing mirrors, front idler mounts, spare track, driver's hatch, what looks like machine gun mounts for the cupola, light clusters, and light mounts for the hull. Again, crisply moulded, a few rejector pin marks on this one. Here we have Sprue F. Sprue F consists of the on-vehicle equipment, the track tensioning tools, shovels, pickaxes, hammers, axes, a pair of swing arms, and a small vent cover. Again, crisply moulded, but again with a few knockout marks on the internal faces. Here we have Sprue G. Sprue G consists of the lower turret, the back of the turret, the mantlet, what looks like the mantlet fixing mounts, and a mantlet cover. Again, moulded crisply and neatly, with a couple of ejector pin marks on the inside faces, but because they're on the inside of turret components, you won't see them. Sprue H. It consists of all the turret fittings. Protective rails for the smoke dischargers, the smoke discharger mounts, various handles, lifting lugs, and the covers for the protectors for the various searchlights. Again, neatly moulded, a little bit of flash present on a couple of the grab handles, but nicely done. Sprue J. Sprue J consists of the main gun barrel in 2 halves, searchlights and various searchlight fittings, the smoke dischargers. Again, neatly moulded, a few knockout marks on internal surfaces, but nicely done. Sprue K. Sprue K contains the commander and gunner's cupola, anti-aircraft guns, some antenna mounts. You have a choice, the German versions or the American field radio versions. Again, crisply moulded with a few knockout marks on the internal surfaces. And now we move on to the hero parts. The upper hull, neatly moulded, all the location points cleanly marked out. On the inside there are a couple of knockout pins. There's a ubiquitous sprue containing the polycaps for the wheels, and the lower hull, again neatly crisply moulded, workable suspension again, with knockout pins on the inside which you won't need to worry about. And the other hero parts consist of a piece of white string for the tow cables. Other options are available. The upper turret, again nicely moulded, lovely weld seams on that. Again, knockout marks on the inside, but again you won't see those. And the other hero part is the brush guard for one of the infrared spotlights. Beautifully detailed. Here we have Sprue T. Sprue T is the transparent parts with the commander's cupola vision blocks, turret vision blocks, some headlight lenses, and the what looks like the cover for the searchlight. Again, neatly moulded in crisp clear styrene with the ubiquitous objector pin marks to be removed. Moving on, we have two photo etch frets. A large one consisting of the ventilation grills for the engine and the little side air intakes that are mounted on the inside of the hull, and the periscope guards. Again, cleanly etched with the bending points, stress points etched in. There's also a set of decals printed by Cartograph of Italy, consisting of registration plates for German and a Greek vehicle. There are tactical markings, unit markings, bridging markings, and national markings and turret numbers. Finally we get to Sprue C, of which there are 6 of these in the bag. These are the individual track links, non-workable variety, moulded in black plastic. Unfortunately there are ejector pin marks on the inside faces of the blocks, but other than that, no flash, nicely done. Perversely, they also provide you with a set of rubber band tracks. Again, reasonably well detailed, a couple of marks to be removed from the inside faces. So if you don't want to do individual links, you can of course resort to the infamous rubber bands. Other track options are available. How does she go together? Well, the instructions are printed in black and white, outsized A4 paper. Page 1 of the instructions consists of a plotted history of the vehicle in Chinese, in English, Japanese, and in Russian. Page 6 begins with the usual explanation of how to build a model, required tools, and you have a choice of 4 different marking options, all of which will be called out in the course of the construction. Stage 1 has you attaching the bump stops, return rollers, dry sprocket mounts, and the idler mounts. Stage 2 has you attach the torsion bars. Step 3 has you attach and build the wheels. And you have to choose early on whether you're doing what version you're going to be doing, of course, the different drive sprockets. Stage 4 has you attach the wheels. Stage 5 has you move on to the upper hull. Again, depending on what version you're doing, you will have to choose the engine grille that you choose on the particular version you're doing. Yeah. For the first time in a Leopard model, they've actually created the internal air grills that fit inside those little hull spaces underneath the turret. Stage 6, as you build the rear of the rear hull plate, the boxes, the spare track links. Stage 7 has you attach the upper hull to the lower hull, fit the back plate, and your choice of tracks. Stage 8 has you working on the upper hull fittings, the left hand mudguard, and the fittings of the left hand side of the hull, and the spare tracks. Stage 9 has you continue with that with various other fittings that go onto the left hand side of the vehicle, including the large ventilation grille. Stage 10 has you do the driver's periscope covers, the headlights, and the right hand side mudguard and tools on that side. Stage 11 has you fit the mudguard at the back, the other Pioneer tools, and of course the vent grille on that side. Stage 12 has you attaching the tow cables. Stage 13 has you working on the searchlights. You have a choice, open or closed. You also have a choice of different types of sighting systems. Step 14 is the gun assembly and fitting of the searchlights to the turret top of the mantlet. Stage 15 has you attach some components to the internals of the turret. Again, that's depending on what version of the vehicle you're actually making. Stage 16 has you attach the upper turret to the lower turret and include the mantlet mounts. Stage 17 has you attaching fitments to the upper hull, the upper turret, sorry. Stage 18 again has you choosing what radio fit you're having. It also has you make the smoke dischargers. They are handed left and right. Stage 19 has you attaching the commander's cupolas and making them, and additional turret handles. Stage 20 has you attaching the smoke dischargers, the cleaning brush boxes, lifting lugs. Stage 21 has you attaching the actual hatches. You again have a choice, open or closed, depending on what you're going to do with the vehicle. Stage 22, building the anti-aircraft gun. Stage 23, ironically enough, has you attaching the turret to the hull. Final page of instructions are the parts location diagrams. There we have that. Painting option. Scheme 1 has you doing a 3-tone NATO camouflage in the green, red, brown and black. Scheme B has an overall gelb olive or olive green. Colour B has again same idea, overall dark green. And colour scheme D has the Greek army with its unique brown, green, black and white camouflage. There you have it, Meng's 2013 release of the Leopard 1A3A4. It's a decent enough kit. I built a couple of these myself. Are they as good as the Italiere Leopard, dating from 1977? For ease of building, you can't beat the Meng kit. It has workable suspension and it features that internal air grills that you don't see in any other model of the Leopard. But for me, I still think the Italiere Leopard has that over the newer kit. But there we go, my view only. Stick around, the sprue shots coming up. Take care, thank you, see you next time. Bye.